Good evening everyone. I just came home from work and just like we were expecting, we've had another character reveal for Tekken 7. It looks as though the new character is going to be Noctis from Final Fantasy. Now my first reaction was that I thought it was a hoax. I didn't believe the videos because I really did not expect to see a Square Enix character in Tekken. But you know, after realizing that it's obviously true and looking through the trailer and sort of like how Noctis seems to function mechanically, I have to say that I'm very happy with this reveal and I'm super excited about this character. I did not play the game Noctis was originally in. I think the last main series Final Fantasy game that I played was probably 13. So I am a fan of the series, even though I'm not a hardcore loyalist or anything. But much more than, you know, what franchise he was lifted from, I'm interested in seeing, you know, how Noctis is actually going to play. And the main thing I looked at, you know, the most important thing to me by far is whether or not Noctis is going to be a typical Tekken character, or whether or not he's going to function more like the sort of 2D fighting game style characters we've seen with characters like Akuma, Eliza, and Geese. And I'm very happy to say that it looks as though Noctis is actually going to be kind of a typical Tekken character mechanically. It looks as though, you know, he's going to launch his opponent with a normal launcher, use a spin move, use an ender, and it looks kind of typical in that way. I haven't seen him, you know, doing any FADC. He doesn't look like he has any reliable, you know, fireballs or projectiles. He doesn't have, you know, a bar of any kind as far as I can tell, and I'm very happy about this. And I think a lot of the Tekken fans out there who really love the way Tekken is playing in Tekken 7 will be happy with this, because it's just adding to a system that we really love, instead of having, you know, a character come in from another game and bringing their own specific mechanics with them. But going into a little bit of like the moveset and the stuff we see Noctis do in the trailer, first thing I noticed is that, you know, he's fighting with a lot of different weapons. He's got, I think, 4 that I've seen. I've only looked through it a couple of times, but it looks as though he has like a long sword, a pair of knives, then a really big sword that looks a little bit like Cloud's Buster Sword from Final Fantasy 7, and then he has like a big axe or a cleaver that he uses in his Rage Art. Now, I'm assuming from the way it looks as though these are not different stances or different weapons that Noctis can somehow toggle. It looks much more like these are just his typical attack animations, and these weapon attacks will come out when he just does a normal move. So for example, when Noctis does down forward 2, he uses like his big sword, but when he does like forward 1, maybe he uses his daggers or something like that. If that is the case, then, you know, Noctis might be a pretty simple character, but if it is the case that you can actually manually transition in between these weapons somehow, there might actually be a lot of serious depth there, but that remains to be seen. Other things we see in the video is that he has this sword throw he uses against Steve here. He throws his sword and then teleports to it, and I know this is a signature move for Noctis in his own game, so I'm betting that people who love the character are going to be very happy that he has that. The way it looks to me as though this is going to function, and this is a little bit of a guess on my part, is that Noctis is going to throw his sword, and if it hits he's going to teleport to it, but I think he's also going to teleport to it if the attack gets blocked, and then probably be at some sort of pretty significant frame disadvantage, probably even, you know, punishable. If that's the case, then I think they've nailed the implementation of this projectile, because it means that Noctis will not be able to sit back and use his projectile to like zone opponents out and stall. He will actually have to try and look for an opening and then attack. So it's sort of like a normal standard Tekken move, only it has really dramatic range. And it looks as though range is going to be a little bit of a theme for the character, because when he fights against Kuma, you can see that he actually punishes Kuma's 442. If you don't know about Kuma's 442, it's actually a move that's lifted from Heihachi. It's a launcher with an extreme amount of pushback that is famously very difficult to punish. And it looks like Noctis will comfortably be able to punish a move with that much pushback using his sort of Buster Sword, Cloud style big sword. So I think, yeah, this is going to be a long-range character, but it is going to be a typical Tekken character, and I think that's really good. It also looks like he has kind of a standard gap-closing power crush move. He has some sort of a parry or reversal using his 2 daggers, and when he's fighting against Devil Jin, we can see that he actually has something that looks a little bit like Paul's Demolition Man, a sort of 3-hit low string, but it remains to be seen if that actually you know, hits naturally on normal hit, or whether you need to counter hit or whatever. This is all, you know, stuff that remains to be seen. But really, the moment that sells the character for me and made me excited to play him was actually the moment in the trailer where Noctis plays against Gigas on the floor break stage. Because what we see happen is Noctis blocks a big slow launch punishable low. He then uses a while standing launcher to launch his opponent. He then uses a move that spikes his opponent to break the floor, and he uses a combo ender downstairs. That is typical classic Tekken 7. That is something that we see from our favorite typical Tekken characters already, and it just made me feel like he's going to be a character that's gonna function mechanically in a way that I like, and that he's going to fit into this roster, and it made me really, really happy. But yeah, obviously there are a lot of like crazy cosmetics going on. He's flying through the air, he's casting all these Final Fantasy spells, but like I said, I think this is all dramatic cosmetics on top of a kind of a typical Tekken character with some, maybe some like, cool specifics thrown in there in terms of like range and a sort of half projectile. But yeah, for now I'm super excited about the character. I can't wait to play him. I'm really looking forward to trying him out, and when he does come out next year, we're going to learn all about him together. There are going to be many videos on the character, so please look forward to that. But for now, yeah, I'm super excited. I'm very, very happy about the reveal, and I think that because we have a lot of time before the character is going to come out, obviously, I might actually go and get Final Fantasy and learn a little bit more about the character and see, what he's like in his own game. I wouldn't hold my breath, but if that's something you would like to see me do, maybe we'll do a long play of a Final Fantasy game together as well. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're excited and happy about the character as well. Let me know how you feel in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video, which I should have with you by tomorrow actually, so look forward to that. Thank you so very much for now, and bye bye.